Hello everyone. Today we will start by coding the last app we work on it. We work on the user interface UI of Tic Tac Toy game. Today we'll work on main activity, make code for this Tic Tac Toy game. We make buttons and we make the buttons white and we make the gray color for background of it and we remove the color of it and we change the shape of it. Today we're gonna work on the coding site. We will start to recognize each of these buttons, what ID they are taking. When this one is clicked, there should some event run away. So we'll start by coding it like this. We'll come to main activity. We'll start by making variable name variable. Let's say variable button selected. Okay, it depends on you what you will use, but before that we should define a function so the button can call that function. Let's say when button is clicked, let view it as a view. When you add this one, there should be importance of view here like this. Alt enter. Then we should add body so you don't get error. After that, we will start by making that variable we say about it, like when bottom is selected. When the bottom is selected, it will be selected as a view. If the value will come through this one, it will come here, it will be in this variable. It will be defined as a button. Okay, when it's selected as a button, what we will do, we need to know if it is what the ID of it. We will check by using log. Log is a function to check the log inside the Android, then debug d, then open bracket. After that, we will give a tag for it. Let's say when bu selected as a tag. This means this text you will use it then to check the debugging. After that, you will say the button that selected this button, as you see it's getting red. Dot what? We will say dot id. Why we say dot id? Because if you come over here, each button, if you come to the attribute, has its own id. Let's say this is bu1, bu2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you didn't make it until now, then change the id each one after one and make it bu1 or b1. It depends on what you want. Then after that, when you add here id of it, this is the id that we speak about it now, then you should make it a string, because the log it will show it as a string. Okay, there is sometimes error and things come up, or some reports. You should send it to Google to improve that program. Report it to Google. That's good. Okay, now let's close. Let's get back to our code. Okay, here we are. Let's now run it. Before running it, we should call this function buClick. How we will do that? When someone click on this button, there's something named, if we search for something on click, we should put on buClick the name function on it. In main activity, buClick, same to others as well. If you check each button on click event, the buClick function will be called. If we check the code of this, we see that when Android colon on click event equal to buClick, where is this buClick? We push Ctrl and double click on it, we will come to here to main activity, which the buClick is inside on it. If we now run on it, run on one virtual device, let's say Pixel 4, and run it. Let's wait until the Gradle is building up, and the app is building up. Then here's come up the Pixel. We'll check the button. What we will do, let's make it this up. We come to the application logcat. If we come to logcat, we make filter for it. We make filter. If you see, we don't need all of this. What we need to look for is when button is selected. So we copy this and put it here like a tag, or tag that. Why you use this tag? So we can make filter on it when it's run. If we bring the app and click on it, we will see that each button has its own ID. If we see this is 21, 31, 23, 08, 18. The second one, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So each one has its own ID. It depends. It doesn't mean that the same ID will show up on your app. Maybe it's different, but if you see it's one after one, like it's come like a series of it. Okay. If we go here, let's say we close that. Sometimes it's crash, so you should check it. You just check that it's working. Okay, what we will do, we will change those IDs to what we need, which means changing that ID to simple one. How we will do that? We will come here. If we make this log as a comment, we continue by bringing this variable as a comment. How we will do that? We define a variable. We will name it cell ID, okay, equal to 0. Sorry, we'll make it equal to 0. When BU is selected, when bottom is selected, the ID of it, what we will do, we will define for each button a number. Let's say we say R the resource dot ID, okay, dot BU1. You see we have all of buttons here, 9 buttons. We start by first one, then we assign it as cell ID equal to 1. Okay, and same for others. We will do r.id.bu2 and select cell ID for it as a 2, and same. You can copy and paste it, just change the number of it, 3, bottom 3, okay, 4, make 4, 5. We have 9 buttons, so you make for all buttons same, 6. Be careful about it, because if you make it wrong, then it will affect the result. It will also affect the app. It will not work properly, so you should check it double. 8, then you go 9, and here is it 9. We check it again. Here is 1, this is button 1, button 2 is cell ID 2, button 3, 3, button 4, cell ID 4, 5, it's 5, 6, it's 6, 7 is 7, 8 is 8, 9 is 9. Now this one is selected. What we will do, we make same thing as we do it here in debugging. What we will do, we will bring the debug. Okay, let's say in log.debug, we put a tag on it and say when button is selected, is clicked, sorry, what we will do, This is our text. So when we make filter here downside, you put this one there. Button selected. We will say the button, click it with the cell ID of it. Okay. What we will do, we will look for cell ID dot string, because as we said, the logo don't accept integer, should be string or others. Let's copy this one before run it and put it here in logcat. Now if we run it, there should assign each button with one number as we do here. If we check it now, if we wait, it's not success. Okay, here is it. If we click this one, this is getting crushed or something like that. Takes sometimes. If we open our app, let's check here, run it again, we close that. There should be something like, run it here. If it doesn't work, then try to reset your device. Close that. I try to close it and open it again and run it. Let's try different device. Let's say horizontal one. Until Gradle is building, we'll wait for it. Starting our AVD. Look here. We should check the design. There is some effect on it. It's working properly, no problems here. Here is our device. If we come to logcat and we click on it, if we check here, view click, we should check it again. There is. If we try to open other ones also, let's say this one, copy it, bring it downside here, make it view click. If we search for view click here, and do it again, apply changes on it. And apply changing on it. If even it doesn't, it's been clicked, you should check your program also. The attributes, the on click, view click is clicked. It's okay. Here is view click, and here is the logo. It's work properly. I think we should double check it again. You select it. Even view selected doesn't come up, we should check it. One more. Well, I was clicking on it, but I was checking here and on here, but it was showing here in run. If you check the run, each one is showing the ID of it and cell ID that put for it. Let's say if we click, this one is number 1, this one is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As we see here, if we make this look again and apply change on it, you'll see when each button is clicked, you will see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we reach the buttons that we needed. We get the ID for each of them. We assign ID for them. We will make the log comment. We don't need it anymore. What we will do now, we will go after that. Okay, after we give each one of them ID, each button with the ID, now we will try to make the game, to playing the game. Well, we will start after this function view create. We should define another function, name it play game. Okay, and give 2 variables to it. What the 2 variables will be? One of them will be cell ID. Okay, as integer. Okay, and the other one will be view selected as button, to know which button is being clicked, and we open brackets. We start our function. What we will send here after we make on it, we will make play games here. I'll send play game. We give cell ID, and we'll also send view select which button is being selected. It will call this function. What this function will do, then we will start playing. Which button is being selected, change the color for that player, and for second player will be changed to another color. We will make 2 different colors for each player, but first we should know which player is active, meaning who's playing now. We'll make a variable for that. It should be like public, because the value will be changed. We'll make var active player, and give value 1. Okay, and we will make 2 players, 2 variables. The other variable, player 1, and this player 1 we will make it like array list, because we will make all why we make it like array list, we will add all his choices inside this array list. When he select one button, we know which button is being selected by which player. So try to make it like array list as integer, then we close brackets. Same here, player 2, and we'll make it array list also. Array list, you give integer also, because the value, why is integer? Because cell ID is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, which is integer number. We make active player to know which player is playing now, then we add for each player what he selected from the buttons. We come to the function. We'll start by making if else. What if else for it is to know which player is playing now, which one is active. If active player is 1 is equal 1, then we do this. What we will do when active player is selected, then we say the button that has been selected, the button that we get inside the function here that has been selected, we will change the color of it. If we see the color it was white, we will make it we change the color and we give value for it. One will be X and the other will be O. We will change. How we change the value inside it? We will change by using text. We say this should be X, but it is setting should be inside two buttons. Make it capital so it will be shown better. Also, we will change the color of it, the background color of it, to something. But before changing the color, we should define some colors. If we come here to our application, we come to Android, we come to resource, we come to values, we come to color XML as we defined before. We come here, we define new color here, name it dark green, and give value for it. Let's copy this value for by default and change it from here. Also, you can use Google or any other websites to check for colors. Say we need dark green. If we come here, we select this one, dark. Okay, we make that one. Also, we make another one, dark blue. Dark blue. It depends on you what color you will use for your game. We will use dark blue. Okay. Okay, now let's close it. If we come here to our application again, inside the play game function, we define active player here, define player 1, player 2. If active player is 1, then do these things. Make the text X. Text of what? Text of these buttons. Then it will be written X on it. Then we will make the button selected. Dot. What we will use set the background resource, not background color, because that will be different things. We'll give the value for it. What we set, we say r dot the resource dot color dot dark blue for player 1. It depends on you what you want to choose. Also, when we come else here, when first player is doing that, then the second player will be different. It will be you select text also, equal will be to O, and also the color that we will set for it, it will be r dot color dot dark green. We use two colors, dark blue for first player, for second player will be dark blue, sorry, then for dark green. How we know which player is playing? We should change when some player is playing, we should change it. Like when some click it, how we know which player is active? What we will do before we change the players, which active player, we should add which button is being selected, which mean which one of these buttons being selected, we should add it to his array list. That's why we make this player 1 and player 2. If we come here, if we say player 1 dot add, because it is array, we will use add function on it. Then we will say the cell ID that has been selected. Already we send cell ID for it. The cell ID same, it will be here on else. We say player 2 dot add, it will be the cell ID of it. Okay, we give the value, which means one of these values, it will be selected. After that, when player 1 is finished, then the active player will change also. We should change it to active player to the value. Also, same here, when player 2 is finished, the player 1 will play, then we go to active player, same here, we will make it 1. When one of these buttons is being selected, like when user select one of these buttons, the other users cannot select it again. So what we should do, we will define here, we will say the button that's selected, this function, is it enabled, meaning is it possible to use it again, or is it active to use it? We'll make it false, so that button doesn't work anymore, so no one else will use the same button twice. Now let's run it here. If we apply changes and run it, if we see, here, we'll wait. The Gradle is building. Here is the game. If we close it, if we close the game now, reinstall, restart that. Okay, we'll do that. Reinstall, restart that. If we come here, player 1, blue, dark blue, as we said. This one is dark green. If we come again to select this one, we cannot select those buttons that selected because we say is enabled false. If we see that when we click on first player, active player 1, it's been X, then the dark blue. If we click this one, dark blue and X, and the player 1 cell ID is this one is being added. Number 3 is being added inside player 1. Okay. If we come here, select other player. Okay, second player. Okay, the other player. Now this one is win, but we didn't use function for winning. Just we make it like this. For making application better way, we select our buttons and we make text color size white and greater. If we come here to attributes, we make size text. Here is size text. We make it like 20, so it's been shown better. Also, if we come to make color, text color, it should be dark or white. It depends on what you want. It should be something that shown. If we rerun it again here, apply change on it, we'll see, because here you see the X and O is not shown too much, it's too much small and it's not clear, so we make it clear again. If we use now, look, now it's better. It depends on what colors and what thing you want to design it. Okay, this should not continue like this. This should continue when someone is winning. It should show that one of them is winning. Until this part, we make this. In next part, we will do which player is winning, show us the winner. Then after that, we will try to make autoplay playing with device. See you. Bye bye. Take care.